Here we go then, it all comes down to this. 10 laps of the circuit, Ricardo Tormo, to decide who will be crowned 2021 MotoGP eSport champion. I'm sure, Jack, that the nerves will be jangling at this point for these guys on the stage.
Yeah, definitely a lot on the line with the BMW award, but no, I definitely don't feel like I'd like to be in their shoes, but no, it should be a good race.
And obviously you're going to be supporting for Andrew ZH on the factory Ducati, but there is a fellow Australian out there, and he's also on a Ducati, so you're going to be cheering for him as well, Mr. TFTW?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, all the Ducatis, we're happy to see them back there, and no, I think it's shaping up to be a good race for them.
There's your front row of the grid then, Andrew ZH, Trastevere, Christian row 2, Ricky Bottaro, Piero Ricciuti. And make a note of this, the man second in the championship, your reigning champion, but for how long? Adrian all the way down in 6th.
Yeah, he's got some work to do, and he's got Jack Hammer just behind him, the man that he just fought for that final podium place in Cope. Joel Clay on the Aprilia lines up 8th, and it's Dark Bright on the Tech 3 KTM in 9th.
Final row of the grid is Petronas, Yamaha's Fuchs, and Mr. TFTW. 4 flights it's taken him to get here from Brisbane, Australia. Let's hope it's been worth the journey. He can pick up a strong result here, but our attention will be at the front. Trastevere versus Adrian to be crowned the 2021 MotoGP eSport champion, and Trastevere will start from the middle of the front row of the grid. Can Andrew ZH get amongst it from pole position? Let's wait and see. The lights are on in Valencia and they're out and we're underway for the season finale. It's a strong start from Andrew ZH. Meanwhile, Trastevere
I was just about to say,
not there. What's happened here? We've got a little bit of a problem. So that's okay. We'll restart.
Re-rack him.
I like this. I like this. Just nice quick restart.
It is. It's just building up the drama. It's building up the intrigue.
We thought we got you there.
I know. We're just teasing you all at home. It's a good job we've got you here anyway, Jack, because we can actually talk to you about something instead whilst we make sure we get everything sorted. Good start to the weekend for you.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Nearly as good as Andrew's start then. It was all looking so great for him just then, but no, good start to the weekend. The weather's definitely looking a bit better on the game than what we had today, but no, hopefully it'll shape up like that for the rest of the weekend.
And are you a bit of a gamer? Have you ever tried your hand at the MotoGP eSport game?
Yeah, put it this way, I'm not really good at many things. Motorbike riding being one of them is probably the best thing I've got, so hence the reason I'm here. But no, I've tried the game, of course. These guys have me hand over fist for sure, but yeah, never know in the future.
So they don't need to be worried. There's not going to be a wild card.
Definitely, no wild cards coming from me. There'll be wild cards coming from the back of the grid at least.
We're just waiting for these technical problems to be sorted out. So thank you for your patience. The Trastevere, the championship leader, the man with a few problems at the moment, and with all the nerves going into it, this is certainly not helping at all.
Is that something you ever suffer from, getting a bit of nerves at the start of the race? I'm sure you do, but is
Definitely.
there ways you deal with it?
And it is hard to deal with like this, you know. I mean, these guys have got a lot on the line, and you know, when everything's sort of going and you're about to start, and then it all gets let's say put on hold. You got to try and, like, let's say, control yourself, control the emotions, and then try to get going again. So yeah, definitely happy I'm not in their seats.
Well, of course, we've seen it before a couple of occasions. Argentina 2019, no, sorry, Thailand 2019. It was when was it the
wrong button? See, that's about as good as my gaming gets. You see, I can't even remember which button to press on the motorbike. So
well, I think that was the fastest run off the grid I've ever seen with a bike.
Well, I knew I had to get off there real quick and try and get it started because I was going to be in trouble for switching it off. You know, I mean, they told me 1,000 times over the weekend, hey, we've moved the button. But you know, right at that moment when things are about to kick off, your mind sort of goes blank, I guess you could say, and yeah, it just went back to force of habit.
How does that affect your mindset, having to restart and reset in such a pivotal moment?
Oh, like that, it was like survival mode. Just run, sprinters, get off the grid as quick as possible, try and get the bike going, because I mean the lights were going out as I was starting the bike, so it didn't have too much time to think about it, not like these boys have got now at the moment anyway.
Yeah, well, there is your fellow teammate there, Andrew ZH, the factory Ducati rider, looking fairly calm, cool and collected. 40 points back he comes into this, so it's going to be pretty tough. We do even have top Ducati management there watching on. Certainly your boss as well. So.
Certainly is my boss, yep, Paolo there, on camera. Hey, Paolo. No, but yeah, unfortunate for him in the last race, getting knocked down in the first corner, but came back to a strong result. So hopefully, yeah, starting on pole here, I think he should be able to get away to another decent start like he did just then and ride away from him.
We've seen Lynn Jarvis here as well, of course, Yamaha boss cheering on Trastevere. A few of the Moto3 riders here as well. I've seen Dennis Onchu, Ricky Rossi, Dennis Foggia, all in attendance. So they've all come down to catch the MotoGP eSport action before getting amongst it. Qualifying tomorrow, of course, here in Valencia, and then race day on Sunday. It's certainly going to be providing some tense moments. This is just a reminder, in case you're just joining us, 11 points separating Trastevere and Adrian ahead of this season finale. We're just having a few technical issues at the moment, so we're working our way through these to make sure that we can have everybody on the grid ahead of what's going to be an exciting finish to this 2021 MotoGP eSports season. And of course, we had the MotoGP guys getting amongst it in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. Myself and Jack talking through the virtual races. Did you manage to catch any of them during lockdown last year?
I didn't, to be honest. I was.
You missed out.
I was quite busy. I was quite busy. They wanted me to get in on it, and I said, "Listen, boys, I don't have internet decent enough to play online at home anyway." So. Yeah, I missed out on that, but I had plenty else going on through the lockdown.
I mean, were too busy building a supercross track, weren't you?
Yeah, riding motorbikes, building motorbikes, building motocross tracks. I mean, yeah. Then, as I said, I was on dial-up till 2012, I think. So I did, you know, it's a bit basic where I am.
In the end, if you did miss them, Alex Marquez was the eventual king. I remember in particular a great battle. I think the only MotoGP Marquez versus Marquez battle we've had so far.
Final corner, Mazzano.
At Mazzano, Alex and Mark going head to head. There's Dennis Foggia as well. Give us a wave, Dennis. Great to see you. Little wink as well. Oh,
Dennis actually had a very funny moment in one of the virtual races last year where his Wi-Fi dropped out and all of a sudden his Moto3 machine became a helicopter on the front straight.
He did. I remember that is a meme-worthy bit of content that when he shouted, "Guys, I have a problem with Wi-Fi."
So then, still nerves, as you can see there from Trastevere, just keeping calm, trying to anyway. Big races coming up, all for it on the championship. 11 points, as we had said quite a few times already. Hopefully we'll be underway very shortly indeed. The guys in the truck are just trying to sort out what's going on exactly with the technical issues. There's Fuchs, who had a great ride earlier on. Give us a wave. Fantastic. 7th place he had earlier, one of his best rides of the season. It's good to see him up there at the start as well.
You've been involved in title deciders before, Jack, Moto3, if I remember rightly. What's it like going into the final races when you know the stipulations? Are they in your back of your mind at all, or do you just go out to win the race and try to treat it like a normal one?
You try to, but that's never the case. I think, you know, you try and think of like all the mathematical equations while riding a motorcycle, which is not my strong point again, maths. But yeah, you're trying to do all that and then understand where the other guy is, and almost you need to almost have wing mirrors on your bike. But yeah, definitely, it's not the greatest of feeling. It's a lot nicer, you know, going out there knowing everything's sort of sorted and you can just focus on the race. But yeah, the boys seem to be handling it rather well, I think. Yeah, like you said, a lot of nerves. I feel for them.
Well, thank you very much, Jack, for your insight there. We've got the problem sorted. Let's get down to business then. This is it, the final race of 2021. With your front row of the grid, a reminder of that once more being Andrew ZH, Trastevere, your new championship leader, and Williams Christian. On to row 2 of the grid, where you'll find Ricky Bottaro, Piero Ricciuti, and the reigning world champion, Adrian.
And then on the last 2 rows of the grid, it's Jack Hammer on the KTM. Watch out for him coming through. Good start, hopefully. Joel Clay, the same on the Aprilia, and also Darkbright on the Tech Freak KTM. And then rounding us out, it is Fuchs in 10th place and Mr. TFTW, the Australian, in 11th. Both with the hard front tyre. They're going to be aggressive off the start.
Here we go then, we'll do it one more time. Trastevere is there in the middle of the front row, so we are ready to go. The lights are on in Valencia, and we are underway in the season finale. Andrew ZH getting a strong start from pole position, but here comes his compatriot Trastevere. The pair side by side, they were, but the power of the Ducati just too much, and Andrew ZH takes the whole shot in Valencia.
Yeah, superb start then for Andrew ZH. Exactly what he wanted, straight out of the textbook. That one looked as though he just got hooked up pretty well and tucked it down into first position. That's going to be close between Ricardo Tormo and Piero Ricciuti. Another fine start for Piero Ricciuti off the front row. So he's certainly looking to weigh in on this championship and have his say as we come down into it.
There's your championship leader, Trastevere, in second then, just off the rear of the race leader, Andrew ZH. current world champion Adrian down in 5th at the moment, which is not enough. He has to finish ahead of Trastevere, which is a tall order even at this stage of the race. Here he is on board with the Repsol Honda man. He's got a Ducati in front of him, Ricky Bottaro, Piero Ricciuti, Trastevere and Andrew ZH. He needs to clear all 4 of them if he's got any chance of taking back-to-back titles.
Yeah, he's certainly got a lot of work to do. And just wonder from your perspective, Jack, as though I think Piero Ricciuti
we've just had a pass. Yep, we have.
Just nipped up the inside. Good move. One of those that you've done before, most likely.
Yeah, that definitely is one of those spots that sort of opens up, and you can definitely take advantage of the shorter route around the inside. But no, good to see all the boys nearly through the first lap unscathed, so that's nice to see.
Now for Trastevere as well, of course, being the championship leader, he knows that Adrian has got to finish ahead of him, so he'll know that he's behind in 5th. As a result, do you think he'll just back off ever so slightly and go into conservation mode?
No, I don't think so. I think he's one of those guys that's going to try and go out, I think, on a bang. Chase down the win would be nice, and give us a bit of a race.
Well, there we go. That's the live championship pictures then at the end of lap 1. Trastevere 15 points clear with Piero Ricciuti. Adrian totally out of the picture in 3rd. At the moment, for Trastevere, his biggest challenger is going to be the number 5 of Piero Ricciuti. But even if the Italian was to get ahead of Andrew ZH, it still wouldn't be enough for the LCR Honda man. But he's doing all he can at the moment, is the youngster.
Yeah, we know Piero Ricciuti's quick around here as well. I think that's a wild card he made in 2020. He really showed what he could do early on in his MotoGP eSport career, and it looks as though he's trying to do the same here, hunting down the factory Ducati man. But he does have the new World Championship leader all over the rear exhaust pipe of that Honda.
Perfect start for your teammate though, Jack. Andrew ZH. We've seen a few Bologna bullets fly off the line like that before.
Definitely have. Yeah, here's the pass, I think, now coming back. Yeah, just slipped up the inside here. Oh, give him a bit of a nudge. But yeah, easy as that. I mean, he knows the championship's on the line, so he knows what he's got to do. But no, I think he might be able to get a little bit of support here from Ricardo as the race goes on. Maybe get another few bites between him and Trastevere.
And when it's like this, Jack, would you prefer to be out front and pushing the pace, or trying to catch up and come through?
It's always nicer trying to catch up. You know, you've got a target, somebody to set your sights on, or as we've done on the green there, but you'll have to watch that. Yeah, it's always nice to or have somebody to set your target and sort of, you know, just a benchmark basically. Hopefully better crash. Yeah,
Mr. TFTW, your fellow Australian's gone down. That's a real shame, as we said. Travelled from Brisbane to Sydney, Sydney to Dubai, Dubai to Madrid, and then down here to Valencia. Some journey to be able to compete in this eSport Championship, and of course something you know all too well about, Jack, 2 weeks of quarantine on the way back as well. So it's some journey for Mr. TFTW. Brilliant just to see him here in person after everything that's gone on over the past couple of years.
Yeah, definitely good to see an Aussie make it over for this, and to be able to get out of the country has been great. And yeah, I definitely don't envy him having to go back and do the 2 weeks quarantine. I can tell you it's very long.
Well, he's certainly been having a good time here. He's been enjoying himself, enjoying the paddock and the whole experience. So I'd say the trip has been well worth it then for Mr. TFTW. So here we go then, coming down to the end of lap 3, and it is still as we were earlier on in the race. Locked line astern, Andrew ZH, Piero Ricciuti, and then Trastevere. This is the man that needs to make up the ground. He has to put in some big manoeuvres if he wants to swing this championship to his favour and become a 2-time world champion.
He's got to start taking risks at this point, because he needs to get in front of 4 riders in front of them, and the biggest concern, I'm sure, Jack, will be the fact that this leading trio are just starting to break away from Bottaro and Adrian in 4th and 5th.
Yep.
Was that aimed at me? Or?
Yeah, well, that's the problem with having 3 Jacks up here.
No, definitely there is a bit of a gap forming. I think Adrian's definitely going to have to try and make a move relatively quickly. But yeah, just after watching the last race, it seems like Ricardo there on the Pramac bike's quite difficult to pass. He seems like a late breaker, and yeah, he's definitely able to make that Pramac Ducati fairly wide.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things we've seen from him all throughout the year. He is very, very difficult to pass, puts up a pretty good fight. Reminds me of several guys in the MotoGP paddock in real life that are extremely good on brakes. But as we come down into it then, it looks as though Adrian actually is just starting to come under some pressure from Christian behind.
Yeah, the Suzuki there putting a bit of pressure on him, so he's going to have to yeah, not look behind and just focus on that one in front of him, I think, and yeah, as he closes in there. So hopefully he'll be able to make a move here and give us something to cheer about.
This is the perfect scenario for Trastevere as well, leading the championship at the moment, but most importantly, he's got, what, 4 or 5 bike lengths behind him. He's got that little bit of fresh air where he knows that the move isn't going to come from Ricky Bottaro behind. He can sit there quite happily in third at the moment, just see the laps tick by, knowing that if he can get the checkered flag with things as it stands, he is the 3-time champion.
Yeah, it's not a bad position to be in, really, is it, at all? It's reminded me a little bit of kind of Marc Marquez and Andrea Dovizioso in 2017, this one. Kind of desperation starting to creep in for Adrian. Really needs to get going and make these manoeuvres.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to make a mistake when these things come. As you said, he needs to just start throwing caution to the wind. But it's easier said than done for sure. He's definitely thinking about it quite a lot. But yeah, I know from my point of view, I think it'll be lovely to see a little scrap there towards the end of the race. It'll be nice.
I'm sure we will. We saw plenty of scraps throughout the year, so there's definitely a good chance of it repeating itself.
We're just on board with Trastevere there, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he's the championship leader. You saw both Andrew ZH and Piero Ricciuti making slight mistakes, just like that one from Andrew ZH, running ever so slightly wide, but Trastevere picked every mark and hit them perfectly as well. He is the typical Yamaha rider. Of course, these bikes are all equal performance, so there's no benefit of being on any motorcycle, but if you had to describe him as a rider perfect for any machine, it would be the Yamaha. And just as you say that, he runs ever so slightly wide there.
Yeah, you jinxed him.
You say that, but I mean, everyone always wants to ride a red bike, don't they? They're always faster.
Well, since you're here, we'll say yes, clearly they are faster at the moment as well, because they're leading the race. So far, so good for Andrew ZH. And he looks as though he's just starting to edge a little bit clear at the front of this race. 7/10 of a second ahead of Piero Ricciuti. That is a little bit of a comfort buffer that will be definitely taken by Andrew ZH. Meanwhile, further back, here comes Adrian. He needs to start making moves, and this is the first of them. It's the contact there. I think he just avoids it. Meanwhile, brother Christian looked up the inside. I don't think we're going to be seeing him making a move. There's definitely some family rankings going on here, because Christian won't be making a move on brother Adrian and costing him the chance at a world championship.
No team orders, you say. Family orders.
Family orders it is. The Suzuki man and the Honda man will be working together, but at the moment, just as you said a couple of laps ago, Jack, Ricky Bottaro is proving quite the challenge to get past.
Yeah, that is the widest Ducati we've seen for quite some time. He's certainly running it quite wide, carrying lots of corner speed, braking hard, making sure that they just cannot get alongside him. We see there from Adrian, if he's going to make the move, he's got to go for it and make it stick, because if it doesn't work and it doesn't come off for him, he's just going to get a position picked off or lose a good chunk of time to the man that he's trying to overtake now, Ricky Bottaro.
I think heading into the next lap, maybe a turn 2, he might be able to have a chance as they've just seen the lap before. He's able to creep in ever so. Oh, he might even come now.
Ooh, just cut away at the wrong time there. Looked as though Adrian was about to try and dive at the inside. I think he's done it.
Yeah, I don't think he got it. No. So my money's on turn 2. I think he's not close enough this lap. But yeah, definitely he needs to definitely assert himself now. I think it is caution in the wind moment, and yeah, if he wants a chance of trying to chase down those front boys, it's now or never kind of thing.
4 laps to go then here in the Valencia. This is the final race of 2021 in the MotoGP eSport Championship, and as things stand, Trastevere on the factory Yamaha will create history by becoming the first 3-time champion. His first championship since back in 2018, but with 4 laps to go, he won't be thinking about that just yet.
Andrew ZH just got the pressure on him. Fastest lap of the race for Piero Ricciuti on the LCR Honda. Looks as though he's just brought that gap down to, whoa, it's just creeping up back again, but it was under half a second there for a few moments. So it's just kind of to-ing and fro-ing between these two at the front. I'm sure contrasting lines is all causing that accordion effect, and it's just stretching and then condensing that gap once more. But this man, perfect position, as Jack says, just watching these two, doesn't have to do anything, can just sit there. He's got his main championship rival right in front of him, can just watch him, make sure he doesn't get in front of Andrew ZH, and if he does, then it's his time to pounce.
Crash for Jack Hammer there, that's a shame for the Brits. Double disappointment after missing out on a podium finish on the final lap in Austin earlier on. Now he's crashed out and drops himself down to 9th. A real shame for the KTM man after so much promise at the start of the season. It just hasn't come together for him in the end, but in the guaranteed, given the pace he's shown throughout 2021, we'll see him back on the Global Series grid in 2022. 3 laps remaining then at Valencia, and Adrian is really up against it now. The clock is ticking, time is running out for the Spaniard.
Yeah, definitely. I think Trastevere now is definitely the most nervous laps, I think, now coming to the end of the race. As you said, he's got a bit of a buffer, but yeah, everything's running through your mind at this point, I think. Where are they? What are they doing? And yeah, just trying to hit your markers in every single braking zone correctly.
And how frustrating is this as well for Adrian at the moment? It looks as though he's got the pace to get in front of him, but he just can't find a way through.
Yeah, as I saw before with Andrew, when he was stuck in behind him for the majority of the race in Texas, it is very, very difficult to pass. I think it took until Ricardo making a mistake before he could actually get through on him. So unless Ricardo does something wrong, I don't see Adrian getting past him.
And that is one of the things as well that the gamers were saying as they get very, very close there indeed. The gamers were saying that this is kind of, it's almost a bit of a train race, this one in Valencia, because it's extremely difficult to overtake. Very one line in MotoGP eSport. Just wondered if it's the same in real life as well, if it's one of those tracks that's a bit harder.
It is harder, definitely. You know, there are great overtaking positions here in Valencia, but, you know, it is a relatively tight track on the MotoGP bike. So, yeah, you're constantly fighting really with the wind of the other bikes, and then also making a pass, it's kind of hard to keep the momentum going because each corner kind of leads into the other, so you can lose a little bit, help prevent another crash.
Well, here's this turn 2, as you said before, but looks like he's just not going to go for it this time. Oh, actually, he's gone wide, Ricardo Tormo. This could be the opportunity coming down into turn 3. No, not quite. It looks as though he's going to barge him out of the way.
Oh, he's having a big look up the inside, but again, no way through. Brilliant defence from Ricardo Tormo, holding off the world champion Adrian. But for how much longer now? Only a lap and a half remaining. It looks as though the Repsol Honda man's reign as MotoGP eSport champion is coming to an end, unless something dramatic happens in these closing stages. Here he goes. He looks up the inside. He'll have the inside line here as well. But look at that from Tormo. So late on the brakes and somehow holds him on. Adrian fights back once more. But again, Tormo slams the door shut. Brilliant defence from the Pramac Ducati man.
Well, he said, Jack, about how late he was on the brakes, and he's proven exactly that. He's parking it on the apex every single time. Adrian just has to try and get the run somehow to get alongside him and just barge him out of the way, block past him so he can get back up into 4th. But every time he's tried so far, nothing has come off. Maybe this time down into turn 14.
Can he finally get the job done? He looks up the inside, but again, no way through for the 26. We're on to the final lap in Valencia. Time has surely run out now for Adrian. He's going to try and take 4th place if he can. I think turn 2, Jack, as you've said, is going to be his best opportunity. Meanwhile, we'll focus on this man, Trastevere, just 1 lap away from becoming a 3-time MotoGP eSport king. He's done what he's had to do here in Valencia. Another podium will be enough to see him crowned champion once again.
Well, he always said he was going to win another one, and it looks as though it's just been on loan for a couple of years. Trastevere this year, he didn't start out the year in the best form, but picked up the results where he needed to, just avoided the carnage and the chaos between all of the other riders out on track, and he's just put the results in, and as we've gone on, he's just got better and better and better, and this is what you see him right now. 2 champions rides this evening, and it looks as though it is going to give him this MotoGP eSport World Championship.
Andrew ZH, let's not forget, he's going to take victory, a 2nd one of the season for the factory Ducati man. He has shown pace throughout the season, but a couple of errors here and there, some of which are not his own, is what the end is going to mean that he finishes 4th in the championship. And Piero Ricciuti as well, for a rookie to finish 2nd in the eSport championship. That is an incredible performance from the Italian.
Yeah, superb, fantastic performance. We've obviously seen MotoGP rookies in real life come up recently and finish very, very well in the championship, but none so much as Piero Ricciuti is doing here in MotoGP eSport. Here we go, through the final corner then. He is going to be world champion.
Here he comes then, Trastevere comes across the line in 3rd and is your 2021 MotoGP eSport champion. Disappointment for Adrian there, but elation for Trastevere after having to play 2nd fiddle in 2019 to that man Andrew ZH, MotoGP eSport World Champion with Trastevere. These are the final results then, race 8 of 8 in the 2021 Global Series. Andrew ZH taking the win ahead of Piero Ricciuti and Trastevere, and as a result, this is what the championship picture looks like. 15 points is his winning margin, with Piero Ricciuti taking 3rd. And importantly, that crash right at the end for Adrian means that he's not on the championship podium at all. He came into tonight leading the championship, and he's going to finish tonight not even on the podium.